The trial of William Samoei Ruto and Joshua Arap Sang continued from 28 October to 5 November 2013 with the testimony of the sixth prosecution witness, testifying under the pseudonym P-0268. The witness testified under the protective measures of facial pixelation and voice distortion. The majority of the testimony being given in private sessions closed to the public to preserve the confidentiality of the witness's identity. Answering questions from Lucio Garcia, OTP trial lawyer, the witness said that after the referendum in 2005, Kenya was divided between Kikuyus and the rest of the ethnic groups, especially regarding the matter of land issue. Kalenjin in the Rift Valley, he said, loved their land and could not allow an idea that someone else is going to take over it.
How did the Kalenjins view this land issue?
Land issue is so dear to Kalenjins, and it happens so that politicians have been exploiting it every now and then during elections. Kalenjins love their land, and they cannot allow any idea to the extent that somebody else is going to take over it.
Mr. Witness, just so that we understand better what you're trying to say, were there any Kikuyus in the Rift Valley?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. During referendum time, they were there. They've been there.
How were they regarded by the Kalenjins?
When there is no election, communities tend to live peacefully. But during any election period, particularly election that puts Kikuyus and and Kalenjins on different sides, there is likelihood Kikuyus are going to be threatened to leave Rift Valley if they don't have fought the way leaders from Rift Valley would like.
He further added that the land issue was exploited by politicians in the Rift Valley during the election period in 2007. The witness attended an ODM rally in Kapsabet on 5th December 2007, which he said was held at Kipchoge Keino Stadium and was attended by thousands of people.
Now as for Mr. William Ruto, to recall what he said during his speech at that rally.
I can't remember everything, but of course I remember the part when he talked in Kalenjin, and basically he chided Moi for supporting Kibaki, and I remember I said something to the effect that Kikuyus are enemies, and whoever supports Kibaki is a witch.
The witness remembered that this rally was announced in the media, and especially through vernacular stations such as the Kalenjin radio station, Kass FM, that also broadcasted it live.
Would you be able to tell us when this show, Lene Emet, would air on Kass FM?
It is during the morning hours. It is around 8 a.m.
Would this be on the weekdays or on the weekends?
Weekdays. Program was run in such a manner that a theme is posed by Mr. Sang, and callers will call in to give their perspectives. And every time, for the moment I would listen to this program, you realize that callers spoke the same thing, the same language, and I don't remember listening to somebody who called in with a contrary position. And these callers seemingly were the same people all the time, and they used pseudonyms. And the popular topics were topics to do with, it was actually political show, majorly. Topics were issues to do with land, issues to do with power, political power, and issues to do with building an identity, a Kalenjin identity.
He added that the topics were about land, power, political power, and issues to do with the building of a Kalenjin identity. At the end of the program, the witness said Mr. Sang would give a conclusion that was always in line with the ideas the callers had expressed, and that the callers with different opinions than pro-ODM would be cut off.
Would you be able to tell us, from memory today, what he would have said in the months preceding the election? Do you remember that, in regards to land issues, politics, things of that nature?
Arap Sang was pro-ODM, and what I can remember is that he used issue to rally people behind ODM candidates.
During the cross-examination, William Ruto's defense counsel, David Hooper, went with the witness through the geography of Rift Valley province, districts, major towns, and population. In further cross-examination, the witness confirmed that 2002 elections were peaceful and left people hopeful about the future. The witness could not confirm counsel's assertion that after the referendum in 2005, President Kibaki started laying off Kalenjins from government and military positions and installing Kikuyus. Mr. Hooper showed to the witness a number of portions of video from the rally in Kapsabet on 5th December 2007 and asked him to identify the event showing Mr. Ruto and Mr. Mudavadi arriving in a helicopter, speakers on rally, and then continued showing pieces of Mr. Ruto's speech during this rally.
Ni kweli ama si kweli? Wewe ukienda dukani ukinunua kiberiti ama sabuni ama chumvi ama unga ama soda unalipa ushuru. Tunaelewana? Kura mamlaka inaenda Nairobi. Kule Nairobi wenye kufaidika ni wale wanaojulikana.
All right, thank you for following that, Mr. Witness. So we now have another segment, and one of the themes we were discussing yesterday and early today of Mr. Ruto's political themes, and by the way, we at 10222. And what we see there is his reference to Kenya being the third most unequal country in the world. He speaks of Kenya where there are a few billionaires and millions of poor that we ODM oppose. That he talks at line 1078 of when we talk about a Kenya to be proud of, we mean a Kenya that all of us can be proud of. And he talks about if you don't have a job, do you have anything to be proud of? And he says at line 1093, if there's an election this year, we want to change the government. We want to put in place a government, the ordinary people at the grassroots level. He speaks about power for 40 years being people voting, being in politics, but in fact, power goes to Nairobi, and those who benefit, he says at 114, are in Nairobi. And those who are at the grassroots at 1125, he says, remain destitute. And again, that's a fair representation of what he said in that section. Do you agree, Mr. Witness?
I agree.
In the portions showed in the courtroom, Mr. Ruto talked about a few billionaires living in Nairobi and the rest of the population being poor, about the need for change in Kenya, the need for decentralization of government, the end of tribalism, and the ODM struggle against poverty and discrimination. The witness confirmed that it is the rally that he attended. During cross-examination by Mr. Sang's defense counsel, Joseph Kipchumba Kigen Katwa, the witness said that Lene Emet program was aired on weekdays, but he could not remember any transmission of the program that he listened to from the beginning to the end. He also said that once in a while, guests on the show were some people who were opposing ODM. He stood by his previous testimony that Mr. Ruto was promoted in this program. Parts of the program were played to the witness in private session. In public session, Mr. Keegan Katua asked the witness to confirm transcripts and documents.
Mr. Witness, you can see that this is what he says. Only 27 days can make you be so angry to the extent that you could be jailed or put you under other unpleasant circumstances. So let us persevere and know that we are all in Kenya. Can you see that, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
I want you to look at the last 3 lines of the same paragraph, starting with the words, "So this is the time."
Yes.
Mr. Witness, confirm this is what Mr. Sang says. So this is the time to embrace that state of empathy, ignore other things, and save the country. Let us not be counted amongst those who destroy our country. Let us protect it. Can you see that, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, you will confirm, as a matter of fact, that Mr. Sang was pleading for peace and for the unity of the country as a Kenya.
Yes, Your Honor.
The witness could not give the exact date and time of broadcast of any specific program in which Mr. Sang called people to go out and demonstrate over stolen votes.
Victims participating in the proceedings normally do not come in The Hague to testify. They simply participate in expressing their views and concerns via their lawyer, their common legal representative. It could, however, happen that few victims might be asked to come to testify before the chamber. This is very limited in number, and victims who have suffered crimes can be called to testify by the prosecution or by the common legal representative.